What if the man you loved most was secretly the one who reported your entire life to the world? Josue Ramirez slammed his laptop shut so hard the screen flickered. The Brooklyn apartment felt smaller than ever, the morning sun pouring through the floor-to-ceiling windows doing nothing to chase away the ice in his chest. Notifications kept buzzing on his phone, hundreds in the last hour alone. Your post has been reported for violating community guidelines. Again and again. His blog, Voices Unsilenced, the one place where he had poured 3 years of his soul into stories about growing up gay and Latino in America, was drowning. He was 28, with warm brown eyes that usually sparkled when he wrote about pride parades or quiet coffee dates. Today those eyes were red-rimmed. The latest post had been simple, a reflection on loving someone whose family still whispered prayers for change. It had gone viral for all the wrong reasons. Troll accounts from every corner of the internet had coordinated a reporting storm. The platform's algorithm was already threatening a permanent ban. Josue's hands shook as he opened the analytics page. 47,000 reports in under 6 hours. Comments ranged from supportive messages, "Stay strong, Josue," to vile slurs that made his stomach turn. He had faced prejudice before, but never like this. Never this organized. Never this personal. The front door clicked open. Isaiah Thompson stepped in, still wearing his button-down from the high school where he taught history. Tall, blonde, blue eyes soft with worry, he dropped his bag and crossed the room in 3 strides. "Babe, I saw the alerts on my way over. What the hell is happening?" Josue stood, letting Isaiah pull him into a hug that smelled like fresh coffee and the faint trace of chalk dust. For a moment the world felt steady. They had met 2 years ago at a small pride panel in Manhattan. Josue had been speaking about the loneliness of being the only out gay man in his extended Mexican-American family. Isaiah had been in the audience, quietly nodding along. Their first date had been a walk across the Brooklyn Bridge, hands brushing until Isaiah finally laced their fingers together. Since then, Isaiah had become Josue's safe harbor, patient when Josue spiraled, steady when the world felt too loud. But today, even that harbor felt distant. "Someone is trying to erase me," Josue whispered against Isaiah's shoulder. "My account is hanging by a thread. If they ban me, everything I've built, every kid who wrote me saying my words helped them come out, gone." Isaiah pulled back just enough to meet his eyes. "We'll fight it. I already emailed the platform's support from my school account. They can't just cave to trolls." His voice was calm, but Josue caught the flicker of something else. Guilt? Fear? He pushed the thought away. Isaiah would never hurt him. They spent the afternoon drafting an appeal together on the couch, Isaiah's arm around Josue's shoulders. Josue recounted how his mother in California still sent him Bible verses every Sunday, hoping he would find the right path. How his younger brother had stopped tagging him in family photos after Josue posted a picture of them kissing on New Year's. How the blog had become his voice when his own family tried to silence it. Isaiah listened, nodding, squeezing his hand at the hard parts. By evening the reports had climbed past 60,000. Josue refreshed the page one last time before they ordered takeout. A new notification appeared, not a report, but a message from a verified account in London. "The international LGBT community is watching. We're starting a petition. You are not alone." Josue stared at the screen, tears blurring the words. For the first time all day, a tiny spark of hope flickered. But as Isaiah kissed the top of his head and murmured, "See, people care," Josue couldn't shake the uneasy feeling that the storm had only just begun, and that the person sitting right beside him might somehow be connected to its eye. The next morning Josue woke to silence from his phone for the first time in 24 hours. The platform had paused new reports while they reviewed the appeal, but the damage was done. His follower count had dropped by 12,000 overnight, people scared away by the controversy. He scrolled through the remaining comments, heart aching at the messages from young readers. "Your blog helped me tell my parents I'm gay. Please don't disappear." Isaiah had left early for work, leaving a note on the kitchen counter. "Fight today. I love you. We'll talk tonight." Josue made coffee, the apartment too quiet without Isaiah's humming. He opened his laptop and started drafting a new post, not an appeal, but a raw letter to his readers. "I'm still here," he typed. "This isn't about politics. It's about telling the truth so no one else feels as alone as I once did. He hit publish before he could second-guess himself. Within minutes, the comments exploded again, this time with support pouring in from places he had never expected. A university group in Berlin shared it. A podcast in Sydney interviewed him via video link. Then came the first international headline. U.S. Gay blogger targeted by coordinated reports. Global LGBT community rallies. Josue's chest tightened with a mix of relief and dread. The attention felt good, but it also spotlighted the very relationship he had tried to keep private. A photo from last Pride, him and Isaiah laughing under rainbow flags, had been dug up and shared everywhere. Isaiah's school email started receiving concerned messages from parents. "Is this appropriate for a teacher?" one read. When Isaiah came home that evening, his shoulders were tight. "The principal called me in. Nothing official yet, but they're monitoring the situation." He dropped onto the couch, rubbing his temples. "I told them the blog is yours, not mine. But they saw the pictures." Josue sat beside him, guilt twisting in his gut. "I never meant to drag you into this. Maybe I should take the post down." "No," Isaiah said firmly. "You've spent years finding your voice. I'm not letting trolls steal it." Yet his eyes darted away when he spoke, and Josue noticed how Isaiah's phone kept lighting up with texts he quickly silenced. That night they argued for the first time in months. Josue asked the question that had been burning since the report started. "Did anyone from your family contribute to this?" Isaiah's conservative parents had never met Josue in person. They sent polite but cold holiday cards. Isaiah swore they hadn't, but his hesitation lingered in the air like smoke. The next day the petition hit 100,000 signatures. Celebrities from Europe and Asia posted support. Josue's inbox filled with interview requests. He felt seen in a way he had always craved, yet the closer the world looked, the more he sensed cracks forming between him and Isaiah. When a reporter asked during a live stream, "Who was the man in the Pride photo with you?" Josue froze. Isaiah, watching from the bedroom, closed the door softly. For the first time, Josue wondered if love was enough when the whole world was watching. The petition reached 500,000 signatures by the end of the week. Platforms across Europe and Latin America amplified it, turning Josue's story into a symbol of digital censorship against LGBT voices. Donations poured in for legal fees. A prominent human rights lawyer in Washington offered to represent him pro bono. Josue's blog traffic skyrocketed. People who had never heard of him now read every archived post. Yet inside the Brooklyn apartment, the atmosphere grew heavier. Isaiah came home later each night, claiming staff meetings, but Josue saw the tension in his jaw. One evening Josue found Isaiah on the fire escape, phone pressed to his ear, voice low. "Mom, I told you it's not like that. Yes, I'm still seeing him." "No, I'm not confused." The call ended abruptly. When Isaiah stepped back inside, his eyes were red. "You didn't tell me they were calling again," Josue said quietly. Isaiah shrugged. "I didn't want to add to your plate. They're worried about my job, about the family name." He tried to smile, but it didn't reach his eyes. "They'll come around." Josue wanted to believe him. Instead, he remembered the night Isaiah had first introduced him to his parents over video. The polite smiles, the careful avoidance of the word boyfriend. The way Isaiah had later apologized in the dark. They just need time. Time had passed, but acceptance never arrived. The misunderstanding exploded 2 days later. A conservative blogger published a piece claiming an anonymous source close to the couple had confirmed Isaiah encouraged the reports to protect his teaching career. The article went viral. Josue read it at 3 a.m., stomach dropping. When Isaiah woke, Josue was already dressed, pacing the living room. "Is it true?" Josue's voice cracked. "Did you talk to anyone about taking the blog down?" Isaiah looked stunned. "What? No, that source is lying. I've been fighting for you." But the doubt had taken root. Josue spent the day avoiding his boyfriend's texts, walking the Brooklyn streets alone, replaying every conversation. Had Isaiah's hesitation been fear, or something worse? Meanwhile, the international support kept growing. A march in London carried signs with Josue's name. A famous Thai activist posted a video translating Josue's posts into Thai, reaching millions. Josue felt grateful, yet each new headline reminded him how exposed they were. His own mother called from California, voice trembling. Mijo, people at church are asking questions. Are you safe? That night Isaiah came home with flowers and takeout from their favorite Thai place. I'm sorry I didn't tell you about my parents' calls sooner. I was trying to shield you, but I would never betray you. They talked until sunrise, tears mixing with promises. Josue wanted to believe him. The love was still there, fierce and real, but the cracks had widened into a chasm neither knew how to bridge. The platform finally ruled. Josue's account would remain active, but with stricter moderation. The coordinated reports had been traced to a single far-right group, and the petition had pressured them into transparency. Victory tasted bittersweet. Josue posted a thank you video that garnered 2 million views overnight. Messages flooded in from gay teens in rural America, from activists in Brazil, from parents in Australia, who said his words helped them accept their sons. Yet the personal cost mounted. Isaiah's school placed him on administrative leave, pending review. The principal cited public perception. Isaiah tried to laugh it off over breakfast. I'll catch up on grading. But Josue saw the defeat in his posture. For the first time, Isaiah questioned out loud whether their relationship was worth the professional ruin. I love you, he said one rainy afternoon, staring at the gray skyline. But I keep thinking about the kids I teach. If I lose this job, how do I help anyone? Josue's heart twisted. He had always admired Isaiah's dedication to his students, the way he slipped LGBT history into lessons without drawing attention. Now that dedication was being weaponized against them. A new crisis arrived via email. Josue's estranged uncle in Texas had seen the headlines and decided to help by contacting a family law attorney. The message was blunt. Your lifestyle is hurting the family name. We're considering legal steps to protect your younger cousins from your influence. Josue read it twice, then closed the laptop and cried in the bathroom so Isaiah wouldn't hear. That evening they sat on the roof, city lights glittering below. Isaiah wrapped a blanket around both of them. We don't have to decide everything tonight. But I need you to know, I'm in this. Whatever it costs. For the first time in weeks, Josue believed him completely. They kissed under the open sky, slow and tender, the kind of kiss that reminded Josue why he had risked everything to love this man. The next morning, a new development stunned them both. The international community had not only saved the blog, they had funded a documentary team. A crew from a Berlin production company wanted to film Josue and Isaiah's story for a global streaming platform. Your journey represents millions, the producer wrote. We want to show the real faces behind the headlines. Josue looked at Isaiah across the kitchen table. We don't have to do this. It's more exposure. Isaiah reached for his hand. Maybe it's time the world sees us as we are, not just the reports, but the love that survived them. Filming began in their apartment the following week. The crew was respectful, asking gentle questions about childhood, first love, the moment they knew they were meant for each other. Josue spoke about the fear of disappointing his mother. Isaiah opened up about the years he spent hiding his sexuality in a conservative Midwest town before moving to New York. The cameras caught quiet moments. Isaiah making coffee while Josue wrote, the way they instinctively reach for each other during hard memories. Outside the apartment, the backlash continued. Isaiah's leave was extended indefinitely. Josue's mother flew in from California for a surprise visit, her face tight with worry. Over dinner, she told them both, I don't understand everything, but I see how much you love each other. That matters more than what people at church say. It was the closest she had ever come to acceptance, and Josue cried in her arms like he was 16 again. Yet the greatest test came when the anonymous source reappeared, this time with screenshots. Someone had leaked private messages between Isaiah and his mother from months earlier. In them, Isaiah had written, I'm scared the blog will affect my job. Maybe he should tone it down. The messages were old, written during an earlier fight, but taken out of context, they looked damning. Social media exploded again. Boyfriend betrayed him, headlines screamed. Josue read them in the documentary van between takes, chest hollow. When the crew left for the day, he confronted Isaiah in the living room. You told her I should tone it down? After everything. Isaiah's face crumpled. It was before I understood how important the blog is to you. I was scared, Josue. For both of us. I never reported anything. I swear on everything I love. Tears streamed down his cheeks. The first time Josue had ever seen Isaiah cry openly. The silence stretched until Josue crossed the room and pulled him close. I believe you. But we can't keep secrets anymore. Not from each other, not from the world. They stayed like that for a long time, the city humming outside. That night they recorded a joint video for the documentary, raw, honest, admitting the cracks and the healing. Millions watched it within hours. Support surged again, this time louder than the hate. Isaiah's school board, facing international pressure, reinstated him with a public apology. Josue's uncle dropped the legal threats after seeing the video. The documentary crew captured it all, the arguments, the forgiveness, the quiet strength that had carried them through. The documentary premiered online 3 months later. Within a week it had been viewed in every country where the petition had spread. Josue and Isaiah sat together on their couch watching the final cut, hands linked. The film ended on a wide shot of them walking across the Brooklyn Bridge at sunset, the same place they had first held hands. The narrator's voice, Josue's own, said simply, "We didn't win because the world changed overnight. We won because we refused to let it change us." Josue's blog was stronger than ever. Sponsors from LGBT organizations offered partnerships. Young readers wrote letters that filled boxes in their living room. Isaiah returned to his classroom, openly displaying a small rainbow flag on his desk. His students asked respectful questions. Some came out to him privately. One quiet evening, Josue stood on the roof again, city lights stretching forever. Isaiah joined him, wrapping arms around his waist from behind. "You know," Isaiah murmured, "the reports almost broke us. But they also showed me what real love looks like, choosing each other even when the whole world is watching." Josue turned, pressing their foreheads together. "I used to think my voice was the only thing that mattered. Now I know it's stronger when it's ours." They kissed under the same stars that had witnessed their lowest nights and their brightest mornings. The storm had passed, but the lessons remained etched in their hearts. Truth demands courage, love demands honesty, and community can lift you higher than any single voice ever could. In the distance, another pride parade was already planning its route. Josue smiled. This time they would march together, not as a secret, not as a story under fire, but as two men who had survived the fire and emerged unbreakable. In reflecting on Josue and Isaiah's journey, I see how quickly a single voice can be targeted, yet how powerfully a global community can rise in its defense. The real victory wasn't saving a blog. It was choosing honesty over fear and love over silence. The lesson is simple yet profound. Your truth may shake the world, but the right people will help you steady it. Never stop speaking, never stop loving, and never doubt that both can change lives far beyond your own.